Welcome to Rauta's Räum Trio video. Here once again we have 3 different albums of 3 different styles and ranking them from worst to best, so to say. And the thing here is with these albums is, like, unlike in Spain when I started the whole Underground Trio thing, is that now I actually have the albums to unbox here because they have been here in my home whole time, which wasn't the case with Spain where I was temporarily living. So from worst to best, one album at a time, but first I'll unbox them all so you don't have to see me switching back and forth with the different screen types here. So first one here is Limbez from Unhallowed Productions, an album called Ècluse, their first album by this band. As you can see, very classic Unhallowed Productions release that is beautiful looking digipack and kind of unique in their style. And already from this unboxing you can pretty much see and figure out this is not your typical black metal. I mean, everything here is kind of like saying it's not black metal to begin with, some kind of a, I don't know, artsy-fartsy thing, or maybe some kind of a indie rock. I mean, if I saw this CD without knowing what the band was all about, I would be guessing, yeah, this is some kind of a band trying to go all the way to something like Tool. But in fact, it's more like a modern black metal, or what we say, atmospheric black metal, third wave black metal. We'll get back to that in a bit, but definitely not looking like a black metal one. More traditional approach to that comes from a nearby country with a band called Räum. This is from Belgium, by Cursed by the Crown. If I remember correctly, this is also the debut album by the band, and also Unhallowed release, with once again nice looking digipack to go with. And here are the insides, and as you can see, both of these digipacks come without booklet, so there is not too much to read lyrics wise and all that stuff. You have the liner notes and stuff like that, but beyond it, it's just very basic, even though nicely looking digipack. And the third one is also a black metal one. This is Unhallowed from Germany, with the album called Awaken, the Black Flame. I'll tell you a little bit more on this band as well, but let's put it this way. You already know that this is going to be the best of the pile, right? Because I'm going in the order, and now it seems like this jewel case is so stuck that I don't dare to break it and ruin a beautiful jewel case, because, you know, sometimes they are so tightly laid there that, you know, you don't really remove them without actually breaking the jewel case. And this one is out through Falter Records, and as you can see, very refreshed, recorded in 2022 and released in 2023. These all from spring 2023, so not exactly super fresh, but still definitely this year, not more than a few months old. And now it's time to head for the metal side as a background when I actually tell you more about these bands. The unboxing, some people probably like it more than the actual reviews, and some probably think it's just a waste of time to show what you're getting when you're buying these. I don't know, you didn't decide and all that stuff, but now let's focus on the bands. So the first one comes indeed from France. It's Ècluse, the debut album here. This here is labeled as atmospheric black metal. In a way, I kind of think it's true, but this is more raw end of atmospheric black metal than you really might think most bands being. That is more noisy in the terms of production, and kind of a raw in the vocal sector as well. That is not your typical black metal band with somewhat held back throaty approach or raspy ones, but more like, let's go, it's kind of a howling style, maybe referring to first Helheim album, if you remember those kind of a trademark black metal ones. So definitely something different, and I'm not saying it's a good thing. Now here you might notice that this band used to work under moniker of Blur Thrower, which I always saw like kind of a joke thing. So technically speaking, one might say, yeah, it's not exactly a new band, but a little bit older with 2 albums out. Nonetheless, it would still fit the Underground Trio format, so it doesn't really matter. A fresh start means that sometimes you just get to wipe all the things in the past away and you start fresh. And unfortunately, in quality-wise, it actually seems like that's what Ècluse or Limbus is doing. The thing here is, these songs are quite lengthy, and they don't really lead you any given place. It's more about, let's go all atmospheric, and let's just get with the kind of a lo-fi production. And then you're, yeah, sounds okay. What about the riffs? What about the songwriting? What about the compositions? And you're like, we're not that far yet. We just have a bunch of riffs. We have decided to go for the low-end production and these crazy holy vocals. You mean actual riffs and, kind of a catchiness? Oh, let's think about it for the second album. We're already done here. My point here is, this is all over like a little bit too much all over the place. So instead of like, okay, this is the In the Shadow of the Horns kind of a fucking great A quality, it's more like, not there yet, more like between the B and C quality. So not exactly like promising, going to be quick, kind of a B quality, going to be good, but more on the C level in that sense, like, you kind of get what these guys are after, and you kind of might even like it, but then again, it almost seems like half finished, much like a demo in essence. So here when one scorer is saying 70%, I kind of almost agree, but I would go only as far as 6.5 out of 10. It's kind of close to getting 7 out of 10, which is 70% in essence. That is, it's almost quite decent, but some things rub me the wrong way, and it's not even the production, because I really can enjoy raw end of production when it fits the music, and here it doesn't so much. And the songwriting, like I said, it's missing all kind of catchiness, memorability, and, the kind of stuff that makes a big impact. Now it's more like, yeah, it's somewhere on the background, more like a demo level recording, and it kind of misses the actual good songs. So, work in progress, so to say, and let's move on. The second one, indeed, is also a debut album, and this time from Belgium, like I already said, Cursed by the Crown. And this is different, yet at the same time kind of having similar things like the once again you have 4 rather lengthy songs, and this time you have quite a high-pitchy, screamy vocals on top of things, so different approach, like not going howling, but not also raspy or twirly ones with this one as well. But what strikes me is pretty interesting that this also goes kind of a lo-fi. It's almost like, is there a trend or pattern, like something happening now 2023, like we're so fed up with your overly produced albums, let's go something like a lo-fi and restart the whole sound setting like as if it was 1991 all over again. Now, like I said, I wouldn't mind if it fits the music, but here is another example why sometimes going lo-fi isn't exactly a good thing. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't really hurt the album, but I mean, it really could be a little bit better. Songwriting wise, Räum is definitely going better direction, already more finished than Limbus, but still this is in my opinion a little bit on that B-class territory. And the thing here is, they also seem to lack powerful riffs and really good compositions. It's not like they're not nailing it, but they're kind of a promise to nail it, if you get the difference. So, whereas Limbus is more like, we don't have anything done yet except that a bunch of riffs going like a mess. Räum is all like, okay, we actually have some songs, they're not that great, but at least we have some ready-made songs, and definitely if you're like ready to go for some kind of a third wave of black metal, like let's go all Renaissance, like reinvent the old lo-fi production values, and let's throw a little bit new one in the mix and go a little bit overboard with the vocal or something different, that's where these guys are going to. But as a result, it's more like, yeah, you got some nice ideas and you threw some of the nice ideas out of the window. How about getting them back, putting them back into the game and making actual good album? So it's a little bit like, once again, a demo phase happening, but now in a full album format. But still, I would say this is somewhat better than Limbus, but not as good as the best in the pile, and that comes from Germany. And now, what the reason I'm showing you this search results page is that these guys probably didn't get the memo, having a new band and all that. There are quite a bit of other Unhallowed bands already in the existence. I'm not going to click them through and find you which ones are the worst or best or oldest or that. It doesn't matter. What matters is that by 2022, bands are supposed to know how to use Google or even Metal Archives and like figure out which names are taken and which are not. Because once I click this German name, you're quite surprised to find out these are actually that new, 2021. I would bet my money on it that a lot of those bands, if not all, are older than this one. I mean, Unhallowed was a name by Dissection, which is worth mentioning here, and I'll explain briefly why. And you would imagine like that name was probably used after the 90s. because of dissection and all. Like somebody was listening to the song, yeah, it's pretty goddamn good, we should put that into use. Oh no, it's already taken, let's use it anyway. You get the idea. I don't want to joke it too much about it, but it's kind of hilarious. And then when you go to this Unhallowed page and you will see, not to be confused by another German band with the same name. Okay, name doesn't ruin a band obviously, but I wouldn't be actually surprised if they got to change their name later on. So in case the band is actually watching this, change your name before it's too late. With one album out, it's not too late to change it, but you're gonna only get yourself in a possibility of lawsuits and copyright accusations, and just not exactly good to be found with church machines and whatever when you have a name that is taken by a bunch of other bands. I mean, there's not only one other Unhallowed, but more of them. So take my tip or take it not, I don't really care, because what matters is the music is good. Unfortunately, this time I'm actually say, yes, this is the best of the pile. Awaken, the Black Flame, a debut album by this German band called Unhallowed. And now the dissection thing. It's not just a coincidence why this band has taken dissection name, because in fact I could show you. If there's a one band this reminds me of mostly, check out what happens when I click the similar artists tab open. Yeah, dissection, voted here. Now okay, only 4 votes, but that kind of underlines the point here. I'm not the only one thinking this sounds like dissection. There are other people too, which is in fact the very case. Now, the only downside is that Awaken, the Black Flame, doesn't sound as good as Storm of the Lakespin, not even near. Does it sound like, quality-wise, something like the debut album, Somber Lane by Dissection? Yeah, quite much, but maybe not that far. Is it better than Rain Chaos? Definitely, if you ask me. The thing here is, this is definitely the kind of a melodic black metal. I wouldn't go as far to say it's melodic black death metal. I think the death metal part is definitely right not there, unless you really consider bands like In Flames, Dark Tranquility, the early era, like melodic death metal. If you do, then you can call it the black metal melodic ways, and you're good to go. This is very much like a dissection worship band, with this album anyway, and they're doing it pretty great. I mean, the thing here is, they sound like they have totally understood what made this dissection a good band and made good albums and all that stuff. You have the melodies, you have the rawness, you have the aggression, you have the darkness, you have the sinister atmosphere, etc. The list goes on. What they don't have is, in fact, the kind of a production that dissection, especially with Storm of the Lightsbane, had, that is really brilliant, bright, and, you know, emphasizing the power of melodies and doing it sound like great. This is once again pretty much like the 2 previous bands I mentioned, a little bit on the rawer side of things. Not exactly lo-fi, but yeah, really good sound, more, you know, just powerful and crispier, more clear and all that stuff. It wouldn't make this album sound like weaker or whatever, less, you know, extreme metal, even if they had a crispier and more clearer sound. Now, be it as may, I think overall this is very good as a debut album starter. Is it a really great one? Not yet, but definitely something worth checking out, because these guys, like I said, have understood what made sound, I mean, what made dissection interesting and good music-wise to begin with. So if they keep, you know, evolving and progressing and all that stuff, pushing to the, you know, metal to the pedal, pedal to the metal, and all that stuff, then this might be the next dissection thing. I mean, they are not supposed to be a copycat band, but then again, if you just take a good pattern and you go with that kind of idea and you want to keep moving that kind of stuff, I'm not there to stop you guys. The only downside is, the name kind of sucks because it's taken already by a few bands, but music-wise and all that stuff, yeah, it's a good one. So check out Unhallowed. If there's only one album I recommend you to check out of this pile, it's definitely Unhallowed. Did I say it enough times? So 3 albums in, the best in the pile comes from Germany. And now, do what you wish. Links are provided in the description box, so open them, start listening to these bands, and I hope you enjoy at least some of them. If you don't scum blaming me. I'm not your gatekeeper. Listen to what you like, and I hope I gave you some good ideas with these bands and all that stuff. Now, off you go, enjoy some metal, bye bye.